fellow viewers, welcome to another episode of Football Unfiltered. I'm your host Bube, and today we have a special guest here with us who is Emmanuel. Both of us will be discussing football with you today. Emmanuel, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Bube. Thank you very much. We're glad to be here once again.
Thank you. So if you're joining us for the first time, do not forget to click on the subscribe button and also click on the notification button so you get notified of our subsequent video that will be coming to you through this channel. Stay tuned and don't go anywhere. Okay, today, Emmanuel, we'll be looking at the preview of the weekend, and we'll also be looking at the review of last week's game. But before we go into what we have for today, how do you feel? You're an Arsenal fan, right?
Yeah, sure, always.
Okay, quickly, where do you think your team will finish this season?
Well, I'll have to be very brief because I understand that we don't have much time on our side, but then I have to state this fact that what we've been doing as fans online and offline actually paid off, because last season and the last two seasons that we almost got the trophy, but because of some injuries and striking challenges we had, we couldn't claim the trophy, and then we started complaining. And I think the management board of Arsenal, I think they took into consideration those complaints. So I was really surprised when I started seeing the signings. So it shows that our support for the team is not in vain, because people think we just support clubs for the fun of football, but the truth is that it's not just for the fun of it. It's for the pleasure, and then somehow, let's say, the joy of being here. You enjoy from the support. So I want to give very good kudos to the Arsenal management board for actually making those signings. And then for our position this season, I think the coach has made it clear that Arsenal is not leaving this season without a trophy, and that's very simple. We're going to get a trophy this season. Well, we're not particular about the trophy, but definitely we're going to have a trophy this season.
So we believe that moving forward, Blaze will not find any reason to banter you.
I thought he was going to be here. I'm surprised he's not here, because I know if he was here, he would want to say something. But definitely, if he had anything to say, I only have something now to counter him.
Exactly. So quickly, let's look at the review of last weekend game. We'll be starting with Liverpool versus Bournemouth, which ended in 4-2. What do you have to say about this game?
That was not a surprise for me, because everybody knew Liverpool since the Klopp left. He made sure he set a standard which the new coach Slot took over from, and he has maintained that standard. Liverpool finished very, very top in last season's games. They did very well in all competitions, the Champions League, the Premier League, and every other league they competed in. And then coming to this season, they did very well. The community shield they had against Crystal Palace, it was just like luck was not on their side. It ended in penalty, but then you could see that they actually did their best, and they maintained that form. So I was not surprised when I saw the result. I didn't watch the match actually, but when I saw the result, I was not surprised. Because I didn't expect Bournemouth to come and start the season, with a win against Liverpool. I expected Liverpool to actually start the season. Yeah, definitely. So it was actually a season for Liverpool.
Okay, let's look at the next game that was played, which was between Aston Villa and Newcastle, which ended draw. What do you have to say about this game?
That game was a surprise to me. Yeah, I watched the first half, and the second half I had somewhere to attend to. But then I didn't expect that match not to produce goals, because these are two scoring teams. But then one would say this is the beginning of a new season, and secondly, we have new signings everywhere. Clubs are trying to see how they can strengthen their team. So honestly, I don't know if UEFA shared some money to clubs, because this season the signings are too much. I don't understand what's going on. I think we're just doing bonanza on signing. So yeah, it's fun, because it has made the Premier League now to be more interesting. You won't see any dominance anywhere. The Man City before now, I'm telling you, will not find it easy. The Liverpool before now, and the likes, and Chelsea and the rest of it, everybody will have to. Yeah, imagine Sunderland beating West Ham 3-0. You can imagine from relegation. So no surprise for me.
Quickly, let's look at the next game that was played last weekend, which was between Brighton and Fulham, which also ended draw. What do you have to say about this?
We all know that Fulham, they are right from time. That's one of their nicknames. They are draws to Fulham, Everton. They are wolves somehow. So I didn't expect much goals, and I didn't expect either to injure. It's just like the two teams are trying to outdo each other normally. But then there's interesting football to watch actually.
Okay, so the next game that was played is between Sunderland and West Ham, which ended draw as well. They played
3-0 rather.
Yes.
Yeah.
3-0.
That was the shocker of the week because nobody saw it coming, because Sunderland came from relegation and then West Ham they've been in it. But I think West Ham had this challenge of letting go of most of their I checked their back line, which is their defenders. I discovered that most of them are no longer there. I think maybe they loaned them or something, or they sold it due to financial crisis. So sometimes it could just be that the club they are playing again, like Sunderland, they had to read. This is what most of the coaches do. They had to look at the weaknesses of the club and their strength and all that. So I think they actually worked on that, and then they saw that West Ham they can be easily defeated, and then they worked on it and then they won.
With this result, can we say that Sunderland are ready to compete in the league?
I can't say that because that was what happened last season against Nottingham Forest and the likes of I think Burnley thereabout. They always start the season with that enthusiasm and all that. But the truth is that if you're not a competing team, you're not a competing team. So they're just there to actually fill up the gap as relegation team that moved to the Premier League. So we don't expect much from them, but anything can happen. That's football for us.
So the next game that was played was between Spurs and Burnley, which Spurs ended up winning the game with 3 goals. What do you have to say?
What do you expect? Burnley, we know they are on and off, team. They will definitely go back to relegation. I'm not actually bad mouthing them, bantering them, but definitely they will go back because I watched the game. I didn't see any attack anywhere from Burnley. I didn't see any key player or let's say for me, I expect that teams that are being promoted to Premier League should first of all look for good strikers. It's important. You might not make do with defenders, but it's important because Premier League is a competition that has to do with goals. For you to be able to advance, you need to learn how to score. So for me, it was not surprising. The Richarlison, I didn't expect the coach to take him off after he scored the 2 goals. I wanted him to at least stay at the end of the game so I can get at least a hat trick. But then the guy is on fire.
Okay, the next game that was played was between Wolves and Manchester City, which Manchester ended up with defeating them. So what do you have to say about this game?
Yes, we know they are the one of the champions of Premier League. I didn't expect less from them. The people that scored the goals were actually new signings. It shows that the coach, they know what they are doing. They don't just go to the market to pick players. They pick goal scorers. Just like I said just before this match, I told you, for a team to actually compete in the Premier League, you must know how to score goals. So that's one thing most of these relegation teams that come to the Premier League don't understand. You have to learn to score. Look at Arsenal. Arsenal went for striker because we've had that challenge of scoring goals, and then you discover that a team that you should beat comfortably, you end up beating them just 1-0, which might be a deficiency for you when it comes to goal tallying. So I think Man City is actually in for the trophy again this season, but let's see how it goes.
So with this, can you say that they are fully ready for the season? Do you think they will compete for trophies?
Of course, they will. They've always competed for trophies. They will. But I doubt if they will actually win the trophy this season. Yeah, I doubt.
Quickly, let's look at the next game that was played, which was between Chelsea and Crystal Palace, and it ended in 0-0. What do you have to say about it?
That game would have been won by Crystal Palace. I watched the game. A goal was disallowed by Crystal Palace. So I was surprised at how that game ended because Chelsea, we all know, the noisemakers team. Sorry, I'm using that word, noisemakers team. They always want to win a game before the game starts. They were telling me, and all that, based on the fact that they won the Super Cup, which it's Club World Cup rather, not Super Cup, Club World Cup, which everybody didn't see it coming because you play against a PSG Champions League winner and you let them go 3 goals to you. So that energy and that anxiety, one expected that Chelsea would at least, even if they don't win the game comfortably, at least they 1-0 nil, but 1-0 win. But then, I mean, come on, it was just like, is this not Chelsea? considering the signings they've had recently, they've had a lot of signings. I think they are one of even the highest signings, if I'm not mistaken. So the game was actually surprising to me, actually. But then that's football.
Okay, so let's look at the next game that was played, which was between Nottingham Forest and Brentford, and Nottingham Forest defeated Brentford by 3-1. What do you have to say?
Nottingham Forest, you know, they have actually been impressive. They came in from the relegation last season, if I'm not mistaken, right? And then you saw them competing. Now I think they are playing in Champions League, if I'm not mistaken as well.
Yeah.
Yes, they're playing in Champions League. They finished top 4. So it shows that they are a team. They finished top 4. EPL, right? Okay. I beg you got them on. So yeah, so Nottingham Forest actually been impressive from last season. I think at some point last season they were competing for the Champions League because they were maintaining that top 4, top 3. Thank you, for a long time. Yeah, until the point when they started having some injury, questions and the rest of it. So then I didn't expect the winning against a Brentford that we know have always been that firing. But I think the problem Brentford had was that they lost Mateta, I think, and then they also lost what's his name, Mbemo, that went to Man U. So I think that their up front was actually a challenge for them. So Nottingham Forest, like we all know, they've had this good striking, this what's it called, attacking pattern of football, and then surprisingly they actually did more than we expected.
Okay, so the next game that was played was between your club, Manchester United, your club Arsenal and Manchester United, which your club ended up defeating Manchester United. So what do you have to say about this?
Of course, that was not a shocker to anybody. Anybody who understands football, who has been concurring with football, will know that Arsenal will always, I always call Maya our wife because in the family, the man will always be the head of the family. So Maya are our wives. We know how to handle them. We know how to tell them, oh, hey, sit down here. For me, I feel that match to end up like maybe 2 or 3-0. But then, that's football. We did very well. We outplayed them. I didn't expect them, Man U, to put up a strong fight because they had new signings. But then the only guy I was saying in that match was just Mbemo. He was just, everywhere. Because he's a new sign. But then, Arsenal would always be Arsenal over a Man U.
Last weekend we saw Leeds defeating Everton with 1-0. What do you have to say about this?
I think that ended a draw because the penalty they gave to Leeds was actually not a penalty, if I'm to say, because I watched the game. The guy was actually, his hands were behind him and then the ball touched him. I don't know why the VAR and the referee made that kind of mistake. I think they are still debating over it, but in Premier League it's difficult for you to overturn a result. But then that game was actually a tough game. I expected Everton to actually do what they did, and then they did what they did. Considering the fact that they're coming from relegation, they don't expect them to actually just come and walk them away like that. But then the match was a kind of an interesting game to watch because you're seeing a relegation team, playing as if they've been there before. So I think Leeds is another team we should look out for this season. Yeah.
Okay, so let's quickly look at the game of the weekend, which is going to be starting with the London derby, West Ham and Chelsea. So what do you have to say about this game?
Okay, I'll be very quick on this one. I will say this: if Chelsea does not win West Ham, then they should forget about the title because I don't see West Ham anywhere. Just like I said earlier in our preview, I said West Ham actually laid off most of their defenders, and then it actually made them lose their first game woefully against the Sunderland. And Chelsea, on the other hand, they had a lot of signings. Secondly, their first game against Crystal Palace was actually not an impressive one because we expected them to actually win that game. So I expect Chelsea to come in with that match with so much pressure, energy, and all that to actually get away. Because if you ask me, I'll tell you that the league has started. 1 point, 2 points, 3 points matters. Your goals matter. So anybody who is competing now should start competing now. Just like what Arsenal has done already by winning Man U.
Okay, so quickly let's look at the next game that will be played, and it's going to be between Manchester City and Spurs. What do you have to say?
Wow, two impressive teams from the last season, and then from the new season. Man City actually came off. I think third position, right?
Yeah.
While Arsenal second position, and then they actually did well in the Champions League. Tottenham Spurs rather actually played the Europa League final against Man U, and then they defeated. So and then I think coming to the Super Cup, they played against a PSG, though they lost in penalty. So Spurs actually they've been impressive, rather, and we expect that Man City on the other hand, who have actually been impressive, actually would put in their best. So I think it's just about who's going to score most of the goals. So for me, I'm going to predict a 3.5 game in that match because the two teams are scoring sides. So I expect the two teams to score, and then whoever can score most wins the game.
Okay, so quickly, let's look at the next game that will be played, and it's going to be between Bournemouth and Wolves. What your take on this game?
Of course, Bournemouth will win the game because I watched the game between Bournemouth and Liverpool. Bournemouth actually did very well in that game. Just that Liverpool, the bigger team, and then the experience. But then for the Wolves, I mean, I don't see where Wolves are competing this season because look at the game against Man City. I mean, they couldn't even convert any of their chances. They were just on the defensive side, kind of. So I think Bournemouth, who is a scoring side, if you look at their records from last season and the previous season, you can see that Bournemouth, they've actually improved in terms of their pattern of play and then their signings too as well. So for me, I'll give it a straight win for Bournemouth. Maybe a 2-0 win for Bournemouth.
Okay, quickly, let's look at the next game that will be played, and it's going to be between Brentford and Aston Villa. Your take on this game?
Aston Villa. I don't understand where Aston Villa is coming from this season because would I say they were demoralized based on their experience last season, and then probably they are still trying to. Because I've not seen any major signing for Aston Villa. Though I'm yet to get acquainted with the signings. Maybe later I'm going to take my time to go through them. But then I didn't expect Aston Villa not to put up something impressive in their first game against Newcastle, that we all know that they are in form kind of. But then I expect that this game will produce goals because Brentford on the other hand didn't do well in their first game. Definitely they should actually make an improvement. So let's say we expect a goal from the both side, but then I'll give an Aston Villa a tip to win the game.
Okay, quickly, let's look at the next game that will be played, and it's going to be between Burnley and Sunderland. What do you have to say?
Sunderland was impressive in their first game against West Ham. Definitely, I expect them to actually put up a strong fight, but then Burnley are playing home. We'll expect them to actually want to, that home advantage mentality. But if I have to go for a win, I'll go with the Sunderland win against the Burnley.
Okay, quickly, the next game that we played is going to be between Arsenal and Leeds. What do you have to say?
Forget the hype I gave to Leeds. Forget the hype I gave to them. I gave them that hype because I didn't expect what they did, and then when I watched the game against I think forgive me, against Everton, I didn't expect them to actually do what they did, but then they did very well by showing that yes, they are ready to compete. But then Arsenal is an Arsenal. We've always known how to beat these promotion teams. So definitely Arsenal will defeat Leeds, but I expect Leeds to put up a fight, at least a goal from Leeds. So I'm going to say a 2-1 win against Leeds.
Okay, so quickly, let's look at the next game that we played, and it's going to be between Crystal Palace and Nottingham Forest. What are you expecting in this game, Emmanuel?
I should see a draw in that game. With Crystal Palace, I will say that they are actually impressive. There's this guy from, I think, Mateta, right? Yes, yeah. Mateta from Brentford, yes, that came in. The guy has been in form, but then Nottingham Forest have a very good defense. I've watched their game a couple of times. I can say that they're actually trying to build a team that can actually withstand, attacks from teams like Man City and Liverpool. Because, apart from scoring goals in Premier League, you also need to have that ability to withstand pressure from attacking teams like Man City and Liverpool. So for me, I expect the two teams to actually play a defensive one because they are two attacking teams. So they want to be very careful. So for me, I'm going to go with a draw, but there should be goals. A good team to score game, but there should be a draw at the end of the day.
Okay, so the next game that we played is going to be between Everton and Brighton. What do you have to say about this game?
I'll also go for another draw. Yes, I'll go for another draw because these are teams that are yet to get their footings. In the signing so far, we've not heard much from this side. We've been hearing from Man U, we've been hearing from Chelsea, we've been hearing from even Arsenal, we've been hearing from Liverpool, and Nottingham Forest, even Newcastle. We've been hearing signings. People who are actually trying to see how they can be able to come up with something better this season. But for these two teams, I don't know. Probably they are still trying to figure out what to do. But I think the windows for signing, I think it's over. So anybody who has not,
is it over or is it open?
Okay. They still have some base gap. So let's see, maybe they might be able to get one or two players into their teams. But then I will look for a draw on this one. I don't see any of them are doing each other that much.
Okay, so let's look at the next game that we played, and it's going to be between Fulham and Manchester United. What do you have to say about this game?
If Man U doesn't win that game, like I said in the match against Chelsea, then I don't think Man U should actually talk about competing because they are starting the season with top teams. Unlike when we will say, okay, you're starting the season with what's it called, promotion teams or mid-table teams.
Exactly.
But you should know that Fulham is not a mid-table team.
Exactly.
They are a team that last season I think they competed a lot. They were able to put up some impressive performances. So I expect Man U to actually prove that yes, they made some good signings among the signings we've been hearing, and I expect them to actually show that yes, we are Man U. We've played bigger competitions. We are more experienced than you. So for me, I think I will give Man U the tip to win, but I won't be surprised if it ends.
Fulham end up winning them. Okay, so let's look at the last game that will be played this weekend, and it's going to be between Newcastle and the Giants of the league. Okay, last league, Liverpool. So what are we expecting from this game?
Liverpool, of course. Liverpool. I've not seen any signing that Liverpool made this season that was a mistake. There's this guy they call Ekiti. I don't know where they got that guy from. That guy is everywhere. Honestly, I think they gave him a free role. Yes, from the matches I've watched so far, and that guy is doing very well. And from what I'm seeing, I think he actually blended easily. Unlike what we are seeing in other clubs where new signings are finding it difficult to still blend. But I think the guy has blended. He understands the pattern of playing football and then he's actually attacking from all sides. So for me, I'm going to give Liverpool a 3-0 win in that game because Newcastle, like I said, they are also yet to get their footing so far. Probably because they lost some players. But then, let's see what we return about. I don't expect Newcastle to withstand a Liverpool. What we are only looking at is if the goals will not be much, but sure it's going to be a Liverpool win.
Okay. So what do you have to say about this Isak saga? Isak wanting to go to Liverpool and Newcastle not wanting to sell Isak, being one of their main players. So what do you have to say about this Isak drama? Him saying he won't play for Newcastle if they don't want to sell him and all that. So what do you really have to say?
The whole thing boils down to the club. One thing about football or club signings is that just like what happened in case of Osimhen and what's happening currently in case of Ademola Lookman, I think the club actually have the bigger rights here, or let's say they have the bigger advantage there. So I think Isak does not have much to do there, or will I say he's at the disadvantaged position because if your club does not want to release you, you cannot leave. If you terminate the contract or forcibly leave the club, then you're actually breaching the contract. There should be a mutual agreement you get. So I think it just boils down to Newcastle making or seeing reasons why he should leave. But then I would say Isak should actually remain in Newcastle. For me, he shouldn't be too quick to leave Newcastle because Newcastle is a team that cannot be written off so far. They can't be written off. They can actually compete for something. They have what it takes. Yeah. So I think he should actually be patient because as it stands now, the club is not willing, and he will be at losing end because if he keeps fighting, they will keep benching him. Even if he doesn't want to play, they will keep benching. I know once you keep benching a player, it drops. Unless you have to work on yourself, do some personal trainings. So I think the both parties have to sit on the table and say, okay, fine, let us agree on something, and then maybe reach a compromise. If you have to pay me off or lay me off, take some, some funds from my, sign off fee, and then we're good to go.
Okay, so viewers, this is what we're coming to the end of the show. Emmanuel, it's always good to have you here in the studio.
Okay. I always look forward to being here.
You're welcome. So if you're yet to subscribe to our channel, don't forget to click on the subscribe button, and also don't forget to click on the notification button so you always get notified of our subsequent episode. Right? Yeah.